Hey everybody, and welcome to Bad at Board Games. I'm Topher, and this is Toph Talk. Today I'm going to take an opportunity to talk about one of my favorite games, and that is Terraforming Mars. This is not anywhere near a new game. This game has been out for a while, but it is a newer game to me. I've been in the board game hobby for quite a while now, but this game has always been one that's been just kind of on my list of would like to have. I didn't think I'd enjoy it. I didn't think the theme was something that I really would enjoy to the point of wanting to buy the game, add it into my collection, to be able to bring it to the table and play often. But about 6 months ago, I went ahead and bought the game, and from almost instantly fell in love with it. Now, I had my doubts. I opened up the box. It was not at all what I thought it was going to be. People have talked about this game so much online. There's so many YouTube channels. There's so many reviews on Board Game Geek and on other blogs of people just talking about the game and especially how terrible it looks. It is not the prettiest game out there. I am big on aesthetics. I do a lot of work with graphic design. I do enjoy bringing games to the table that look beautiful. I am the person that likes to upgrade my games, to get new components to make it look even better or more thematic or more enjoyable to us playing, to get into the theme and get into the night that we are about to have of whatever it is we're doing. And I opened this game up and I thought, this is not the game that my gaming group is going to enjoy. So I put it away and I didn't pull it out for another few weeks. I ended up pulling it back out and decided to give it a try. Played one game through solo, because this is a solo game as well. And I'd say within the first 10 minutes, I was hooked. I knew this was going to be a game that I would want to continue to bring to the table. There's a lot to this game, and you will find the reviews on how to play the game out there on YouTube, so I'm not going to talk about how to play the game. But let me tell you about some of the reasons why I like it and why anybody who I have brought to the table to play Terraforming Mars has enjoyed the game. For one, it is a complex game, but it is not too complex. I think Board Game Geek has it rated somewhere around 3, maybe a little over a 3 on complexity. But the game just works together. And I think that's what makes this game so unique. Those are the games that I enjoy. I like games that I'm going to sit down and have to think. I want to plan ahead. I want to play for the end game. I think anybody in my gaming group knows that. Brad knows that. I play for that end game. I want to make a strategy. And with this game, you can do that. You have to do that almost, but you can do that well. But it's not so complex that you have to sit down and really strategize without engaging with the group. There's a lot of mechanics to this game. It is area control. You can see the map, you can see Mars, you can see the moons of Mars where you can place your tiles. You have a little bit of a battle to see where you want to put your games or your pieces. But it's not only area control, it's also resource management, it's tableau building, it's hand management, it is card drafting, it is all these mechanics thrown into one. And I think those many mechanics are the things that make this a complex game. Somebody who is new to the board game hobby probably isn't going to jump in immediately and feel confident in being able to sit down and play this all the way through without some assistance. But when you really think about it, everybody is doing things together. And I think that's another thing I like about this game. This is not a game where one person is going to take a turn, it's going to take a very long time, and then it's going to go to the next player. This is a game that is well thought out to be engaging for every player the whole way through. Whether it's one person playing or 5 people playing, anywhere in between, the game takes the same amount of time. You don't have extended gameplay because you're playing with a 3rd, a 4th, or even a 5th player. Turns take about the same amount of time, but the end condition, you're going to get there in less turns with more people. So it's going to take the same amount of time. You start your generations the same way. You collect your resources, you draft your cards. Then you start playing actions. And instead of playing all these actions at one time, you take 1, maybe 2 actions, the next person plays, then the next person, and it continues going around the table. You are building a tableau in front of you. There's wonderful cards that you can add to your tableau, that you can gain resources, you can gain new abilities, you can get new things, but you're playing one card and then it goes to the next person. And you might have to engage with another person on it. So there's not a lot of sitting and waiting in this game. It is play and play and play and play and engage with those that you're playing with. Another thing that I really like about this game is that it's entirely replayable. Some games are wonderful. I'll get a game to the table, I will love it, I'll play it, and then after a while it's the same game over and over and over again. Not with Terraforming Mars. In the base game, you get over 300 cards. These are your projects that you're going to be working towards to be able to fulfill points, to be able to put resources out on the map, to unlock oceans and allow the temperature to rise so that the ice caps will melt, so that you'll have the water. You'll be able to build your cities with them. You'll be able to bring events in. Your events might affect yourself. They might affect other people. It might affect the planet. You might send a nuclear bomb to the planet to heat the planet. Your events, your cards are always different in every game. You're not going to go through all 300 plus cards in one game. Another thing that makes this game completely replayable is that you have new and different corporations every time you play. Your corporation is going to dictate what your strategy is. Your corporation might be very good with mining, and so your strategy might be to go for more steel and more titanium. Or maybe you're really good with money, and so you're able to get more resources because you can discount some of the things you have. Maybe you get loans a little bit better. You're good with your credit. Maybe you're good with plants or animals, and so now your strategy is pivoting and you have to play something different. Maybe you get a corporation that's really good with animals, but your cards don't come anywhere near helping you in that ability. And so all of a sudden you take a strategy that you think you know so well, something that you've won with before, and all of a sudden it's a completely different game the next time you play. It is very much a solo game. You're going to get that idea of being on your own, even when you play with other people, but you do have a little bit of interaction with others. And if you want to boost that interaction even more, you can go with the card drafting variant where you are actually picking one card and rotating through the cards so other people who are playing at the table might see what you passed. Or maybe you might get into that strategy of thinking, what do I send to the next person? What can I do to help myself out and not help them more? Do I take the card that's better for me, or do I take the card that's better for them? And so you get a little bit of that give and take in the game. There's so much that I love about this game. The artwork I don't think is a bother at all. Some people complain about photography mixed with clip art. It's fine. This game is so thematic when you move past just the images. It's thematic in that you can really start to feel like you're working at a corporation that is working to terraform this planet. Your corporation, if you are the best at what you're doing, you're going to have the highest terraform rating. You're going to be getting the most income every single generation. That is thematic. This is not a game where you can take the theme away and the game still works. I do not think this game would work if it was on any other theme. The theme is through every part of the game. It's in the resource management. It's in the tableau building. It's in the tile placements that you have. It's in the decisions that you make as you think, I am the CEO of this corporation that has to do something to become better, to make this land habitable so that we can boost not only our terraform rating, we can, yes, obviously win the game. Maybe we want to aim for awards. Maybe we want to go for some milestones. Maybe we want to take a track and say, I'm going to be the wealthiest corporation, or maybe I'm going to be the corporation that seeks to increase these global parameters the fastest. Take the theme away, this game is done. This game is oozing with theme. You pick a card, you read a card, it's got flavor text at the bottom. If you're a science nerd like me, you can geek out over the fact that this game is full of science. There's just so much to this game that makes it so well designed. Not the prettiest, but so well designed. And everybody who I've taught this game to has enjoyed it, from beginners to the board game hobby, all the way up through people who play the newest and the best and the highest, most difficult games there are that are out there. Everybody has sat down and played. Yes, analysis paralysis can be a thing with this game, and if you have a lot of analysis paralysis, this game is going to go a little bit longer. It's not a quick game. It's rated at about 2 hours. I would say it's sitting somewhere between 2 to 3 hours with most of the people that I've played with. If it's new to the hobby players, if it's people who really have to sit and think a lot over every action they do, you're looking at a 4-hour game. But it doesn't feel like it's a 4-hour game. It goes by quick. There's an end goal to it. You don't know how everybody else is doing because there's so much hidden in your cards and your tableau that even though you can see the terraform rating of each of the players, you don't know if you actually are winning the game at any point. There is a reason why this game has been in the Board Game Geek top 10 for so long. And even for the age of the game, it is sitting now at slot 4 in BGG ratings. It is in my top 5. It's not even in my top 10, it's in my top 5. I love this game. If I'm sitting at home and I want to play a game by myself, this is probably the one I pull out. It is very similar, playing it solo versus competitive with other people. It plays well from 1 person up to 5. You can get into this game quick, and you can spend your evening geeking out like the nerd that I am, terraforming a planet. Something we grew up thinking would never ever happen and won't happen in our lifetime, but who knows? Maybe we can live a little bit of that. Have a night of geeking out, playing cards, destroying your friends, becoming the best at winning this game. Sorry, Brad, you're bad at board games. You're not going to win this game, but we're going to have fun no matter what. So this is one of my favorite games, friends. If you have not played this game, take a look for it. It is somewhere sitting around $40, $50 at most online retailers. You might pay a little bit more at your friendly local gaming store. It's worth it to pay a little bit more if you're supporting local. You do need an upgrade. This game is not playable out of the box. The player mats that come in the base game are terrible. Look online. There are hundreds of retailers that will sell separate boards that you can use that will actually allow you to store your pieces in them without allowing them to move. It's worth getting the upgraded components. It's worth getting the expansions. This game has several expansions to it. It is one of your favorite games if you give it a try. So thanks. This is Toph Talk, talking about one of my favorite games, Terraforming Mars. One of the things that is so great about Terraforming Mars is that it has been out for a while, which has allowed the developers to come out with a lot of expansions. If this is a game that you end up playing quite a bit, you may start to think, I want to go ahead and get the expansions. I want to add a little bit more complexity in the game or a little bit more diversity into the gameplay. There are several expansions for this game. You can get new maps that show different phases of Mars that also change up the awards and the milestones so that it's not the same board that you're playing on every time. Venus Next adds in this Venus component with another parameter that you can increase. You can add colonies, so you're actually sending your people out to other colonies to be able to trade. There's a government track, the expansion, that adds a very different gameplay into it. But there's one expansion that is absolutely critical. A lot of people have said it should have been included in the base game. The base game itself is good. It's going to take some time to play through. The first time you play through this game, you're going to play as a beginner corporation. You have no set strategy. It is just a lot of money that you're given, and then you're given a lot of free cards that you don't have to pay for. The cards are the projects you're working on. Those are the things that you will do in order to gain points or terraform the planet in one way, shape, or form. Once you get past beginner, then you start playing with actual corporations. Game takes a little bit longer to play that way, but you have a set strategy. But it still takes a while to build an engine. When it comes down to it, this is an engine building game. You have to build your engine to be able to get more resources, to be able to get more cards, to be able to play more projects, to be able to put more tiles on the board. It takes a while to do that. And so one of the expansions, Prelude, is critical. If you're going to go ahead and invest in this game, I'd say go ahead and get Prelude from the very beginning. Don't even worry about playing without it. It is not going to add a complexity to this game. It's not going to be something that's going to make it harder for somebody new to the hobby or new to this game to learn. But it is going to kickstart your corporation. It's going to kickstart your engine. So you automatically are going to start in a faster position than you would have been. Now, it's not going to take hours off of the game, but it is going to take time off of the actual total gameplay. You might be cutting 30 minutes off of your gameplay by adding in the Prelude expansion because you are starting with that corporation and you're able to choose the starting cards that's going to give you major benefits that hopefully you have worked to sync with your corporation and the strengths of your corporation. And then all of a sudden, as you start playing your cards, as long as you're playing them to sync and to all align together with that, your engine is started immediately. So if you are looking for this game, I do encourage you to go ahead and pick up the Prelude expansion. I do like expansions to games. I add a lot of expansions on games where I enjoy the base game. I would say hold off on the other expansions until you play for a little while. Enjoy the base game. But do yourself a favor, get Prelude, add those cards directly into the gameplay from your very first play. You will enjoy it a lot more with that one expansion. So that ends today's Toph Talk. If you guys enjoyed this video, we would love to hear about it. Down below, you can comment, you can ask some questions. I'll be happy to try my best to answer those questions that you may have. Others may hop into it as well. This is a great community to be able to help bring others to the table and engage in something like terraforming the planet of Mars. If you did enjoy this talk, if you enjoyed these videos, we'd also love for you to subscribe to this channel, Bad at Board Games. You're going to hear all different kinds of talks and playthroughs of various games, especially newer and more cutting-edge games as they come out, as we get our hands on them. So please subscribe to this channel, like this video, leave us a comment. We'd love to have you come back and join us the next time around. Thank you guys so much.